Welcome to Tiny Texas Living. Who says you can't live big while living tiny?
There goes the package man. Thank you, FedEx, for dropping off my package, which looks huge. It's here. I'm so excited. Yard work is about to get a little easier with the Wild Badger. This is an electric lawnmower from a tiny home. Oh, it's kind of an overcast and gloomy day today, and it's supposed to rain, so my yard is looking a little bit woolly because we've been getting so much rain, but I can't really do anything about it today. But I thought maybe, just maybe, I could get ready to do something if it's not so woolly tomorrow. I think that's going to be today's task. My path to the cabin is pretty bad. A few more small things like this have been falling because it's been so windy, so I need to get these picked up also. And these things are shooting up faster than I can do anything about them. So since the package man brought me something new to do this, I think today is a good day to figure out how it works, get it charged up, and then maybe tomorrow I can use it. So today, I guess I'm gonna figure out this new electric lawnmower. This is the mini electric chainsaw, which I'm gonna do some things with in a little bit. This is gonna be mainly for my van though. Although I will probably test it out here just to get some yard work done. So this is gonna be cool, but this is the real meat and potatoes of today. The Wild Badger Power 40 volt 18-inch lawnmower, and this has a bagging system, which is what really intrigued me because during the fall we get so many leaves and this would be so helpful. Now this was delivered yesterday and it was super hot yesterday, so I'm very happy I was actually here because the lithium batteries outside don't sound like a great idea, especially where I get my mail. As summer is closer and closer and closer, well, it's here. Yeah, that's a problem. So, really happy I was home. So without further ado though, let's go ahead and cut right on in and see what this bad boy looks like. I feel like this is gonna take me a couple swipes because this tape is pretty thick on here. Is it gonna open? Yes. Okay, this is gonna be a assembly required situation. So I'm going to start off with the easy part. I am going to start off with finding out where the battery is. Almost positive this is going to have to be charged up just before I use it, so I figured that's a good place to start, and it's a place that's manageable. So, into the box I go, and there's another box. Okay, cool. That can sit back here somewhere for now. And then, okay, a lot of things to keep it protected, which is good. Oh, this is actually attached. Okay. I'm already kind of getting overwhelmed. Okay, this might not require as much assembly as I think it's going to. It looks like it's mostly just like this part, which is the handle. Oh, that grip on the handle is nice. That is soft. That's not going to hurt my hands when I'm pushing it in the yard. That is awesome. Slow and steady wins the race. My tiny home's gonna look awesome, but I need to put this together correctly so that it works. Okay, box one, box two, and instructions. It's nice that all of this is so easy to access. For a person who's no expert by any means, what exactly to expect. This is a cordless lawnmower. And so I'm not going to have like a long cord running through my yard that I might randomly run over or shock myself with, which is great. But it is electric, so I can recharge the battery. So raw stats that I need to know. 18-inch cut deck, so that's good for what I need it for. I just need smaller spaces. It is a 40-volt battery capacity and approximately will run 55 minutes for each charge. So I'm going to get out there and just move, but for what I'm going to do with this should work fine. That's about an hour, and with the Texas heat, let's face it, we don't want to be outside when it's that hot for that long. So that would actually work pretty well, I think, for the smaller things. But A couple other things that I need to note, it's 28 pounds, very doable. So even if I do have to pick it up and put it in storage, that's something I can pick up. And it looks like, other than that, everything looks pretty decent. It has a 750 watt brushless motor, 36 volt DC battery voltage. Pretty good stuff for that. So that's super easy. I'm used to using DC like outlets and things like that. I'm familiar with power, so none of this is going to be too super strange. And I think, I'm not positive, but I think I will be able to plug this in with one of these boxes. Okay, inside, and sure enough, this little brick right here is why it was so heavy. Wow. That is our lithium-ion Pro Badger battery right here. So this is interesting. Very different than I thought it would look. So now I'm curious what's in this box, which also apparently has to be cut into. They want everything to be super sealed, which is great for shipping. Nothing flies all over the place, but in the process, that makes it more to cut into. Okay, here's the charger. I'm very familiar with charging systems like this because they're very similar to those that you use for like your power tools. So with that, this is going to be super easy. I can just plug this part into the wall, the battery fits on here, and then it charges up. And so that is where I'm going to start this journey, is getting everything charged up. So by the time that I do get everything assembled, this thing's ready to go. So there's a slot here and a slot here, and it lines up like a puzzle piece and should pop into place. There it is. It's in place, and now I can plug it in. Into the wall it goes, and it should indicate that it's charging. There it is. Sure enough, battery is charging whenever the green light is flashing. So whenever it is solid, it will be completely finished. If for some reason the battery is red, which would be the other side of this, or it has a red and a green, that means something different. So battery is too warm or cold if it's just red. And if both of them are on, the battery is actually being defective. So now I wait. Living on a shared family property, it's always been a larger acreage. So it's been mowed using like a riding lawn mower, or we have this little push thing that has, it's kind of like a massive weed eater. And I really wanted something that I could do some things closer to my yard, because during the summertime there's snakes and I don't want any part of them. So I want to keep that down as much as possible. But also the little things that I can do that would be very easy and wouldn't take very long. This is going to be great for that. So I'm going to try to keep the yard up as much as possible without having to rely on the bigger mowers. Now, does that mean we're not going to be using the bigger mower at all? No, absolutely not. There's so much land here. It would take forever to push mow the entire thing, but this is great for my direct yard itself, and that's what I really wanted it for. For a smaller yard, this would be perfect, and so I figure that in my smaller space, this is going to work out really well. So having something that can be recharged is going to make it where I don't have to mess with and fumble with like a carburetor and like fuel and all sorts of stuff like that. And during the fall, I'll be able to use it to go over those leaves and kind of mulch them down so we can dispose of them so that they don't just make huge mounds all in the yard. And it would be more manageable to do it that way, because you could just kind of mulch them down a little bit, dump them, mulch them down a little bit, dump them, and keep it in a much more like manageable amount, which is another huge bonus of this one having the container, which is why I wanted this one. Now, when you're in a tiny home, or any home for that matter, it can get very overwhelming as to what is available out there, and especially with newer things like the electric mowers, like the just knowledge of, is it gonna work? Is it gonna be efficient? There's lots of question marks. And so I was very fortunate that as I was looking for something, Wild Badger reached out and said, hey, we saw that you have a tiny home. Would you like to try our mower since it's new? And I was like, sure, why not? I've been looking. So here we are. Is this gonna work out? Is it gonna be user-friendly? Is it gonna be something that I can do as an individual? We will see. I'm crossing my fingers. I'm hoping for the best. And at the same time, I'm a realist. So if this works out great, yes. If this does not work out great, then I guess I'll have a meltdown on the channel here. We're gonna hope it doesn't get to that. I think it's gonna do well. We're gonna speak positive into the universe, and Wild Badger stands by their products, so we'll see if we do. Okay, everything's out of the box and the pieces are all here. So this is the collection. Then here is the size of the unit itself. It's not super big, and I think this is going to be a very manageable size for me. It has a handle here, which is kind of nice because if I'm going to put it up somewhere, I can pick it up by this, or whenever I'm tipping it so that I can put this on there. That'll be helpful. There's also a handle on this part to make it easier to transport, to throw away the items. And then other than that, there's a handle here that came separate but is attached to the cord. And then there are these two pieces right here that have like a little cog on them. So altogether, there's going to be a few pieces that we have to put together. And then Dad just handed me this, which is, looks like some caps with some screws to secure everything and some other pieces in here. So that's the bare piece of the Badger here. It's a 40 volt, the battery's all charged up, and now we have to figure out how it goes together, where the battery goes. And I think I'm going to get the book out and show it to Dad. I just wanted to make sure, since this is kind of different than I was expecting, that it's all assembled correctly before I take it outside. Okay, we were attempting to figure out which one goes where, and they're clearly marked with R or L. So Dad's currently installing the L. And then it has the knob that goes on the side and twists in. So this really is something that I probably could have done by myself. But again, since I've never put together like a lawnmower of any kind, I wanted to make sure I was doing it correctly so that I don't have anything malfunctioning. This fits into the little cog piece, and you gotta just kind of line it up. It's a little difficult to get set in there at first with one hand, and then it twists into place. And that's it for those. So this could be something that I could take apart again pretty easily if I need to. Okay, the battery itself will go in this compartment, and it has a little puzzle piece that lines up just like the charger did. Okay, Dad just put on these, which hold the wire in place on two pieces there, so it keeps it in a straight line, so there's no dangling. And now we're about to feed the handles down and secure them. And the handles, this right here. So this just kind of fits in like a little puzzle piece, and there it is, and then it'll bolt in place. Okay, this next part is attaching this, and it just kind of screws in. So this is the other side, and then it locks down, bends like this. Okay, so that's all twisted into place the correct way. Okay, now time for the battery. And it just slides into place with the little puzzle piece here going into the puzzle piece there. So it should fit like so, and then just lock in. There it is. Okay, on the side right here, there's actually a little start button, and it says very clearly in step 8 how to start the mower after you put in the battery. So now we're gonna go outside and test it. But we gotta hook this guy up first, and that just means it lines up kind of like a puzzle piece back here too. And I believe slides into place like that. Okay, so here we are, we're outside, and I'm in my pajamas, so I'm not gonna finish this job just yet until I put on regular shoes, but I am gonna open it up and get it started. Ooh, okay, let me try it out, Dad, let me try it out. So I think I squeeze back.
Oh, push button and squeeze back.
Push button.
Push it and pull back, and then let off the button.
Ooh, there we go. doing pretty good. This thing is powering through. And I had some tall grass here because I was knowing that this thing was gonna arrive, so I wanted to test it. And in the taller, thicker grass, it just kind of amps up the engine a little bit and just powers on through. And then when it gets to the shorter grass, it powers back down a little bit. So all in all, it's a hot day out here. I'm gonna go get a drink and then I'm gonna finish out this battery. I'm gonna see how far I can get on this. So far I've mowed beside my house and beside the cabin on one side. There's still a lot to work on, and I do need to get the weed eater out here, but wow. Oh, it is hot outside though. Texas is heated up and it is humid. But one of the things that I am liking about this is my allergies are usually pretty bad. And right now I'm able to mow without it kicking up all that stuff because that bag, and that is something that is helping me so much. Normally I would be sneezing and coughing and my eyes would be watering, but because it's collecting all that, I'm not, and I'm just hot. So I'm gonna cool off for a second and then go back out there and finish off this battery and see how far I can go. Okay, time to get back to work. I can do this. This is what it looks like on the bottom with the blade and everything. It's definitely cutting the grass. There's also a wheel adjustment here that I could change. Oh, I came back in to cool off. It is hot, hot, hot. I also needed to eat something because I hadn't eaten anything, and being out in the heat and then not having eaten, I was like, woo. Oh, this thing definitely lasted longer than 55 minutes, and I have mowed so much of my yard. Wild Badger is coming through for me. The Wild Badger is a good mower. I didn't have a lot of kickback. It doesn't have like the side shootout area. It mulches everything down to like a non-existence, which is interesting. It's easy to use. It doesn't hurt my hands whenever I'm pushing because it has that padded area. And it has a comfortable grip for either the top or the side, which is great. So overall, I would definitely say that this is a good electric mower to use. I'm going to keep using it in the yard for the remainder of the summer and see if I can wear it down. But I was not expecting it to be able to do as much as it is because it's a smaller mower and it has that little battery, but wow. Ice pops on a hot day. These are perfect for my mowing. Okay, I still have to do this part, but you see the clear marked line. I was able to do all of this, all of up by my house, all on 2 battery cycles.